And so this is the volunteer from France. They give us a wonderful sharing, talking about it's important to promote the vegetarian diet. So in Europe, we are so grateful that we have the volunteer like this. They take Master Zheng Meiyun's work and try very hard to promote the vegetarian diet, to purify our mind and also to purify the land. And now, okay, now we're gonna start today's program. So Happy New Year, 2022. So hopefully, like we can have a very good start, and wish everyone can be happy and released, and everything can be wonderful. So that's like the fireflies hit the light to guard the road. And from the screen, you can see there is a new program on TV station. Started from January, there was a new program, a film festival on every Sunday. And you might be familiar with the speaker, Zhang Xin. She is a very good character. And at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we can revisit at night on 10 p.m. You can revisit. And he is very kind, and he's going to provide a good drawing and talking about the beauty of the life. So please do not mix this program. And we also will have a film festival every Sunday. And the speaker, Zhang Xin, will give us a very good presentation on drawing. So if you like him, please do not mix this program. Start from January. I think that everyone likes him very much. It's only 12 minutes. Each program is only 12 minutes. So let's give him a big hand. And then, and you might haven't seen the movie for a long time, but right now is the good chance, the good opportunity for you to watch a very short new movie from Dalin TV new program every Sunday. And the volunteer Yang Renlu highly recommend this program. Yang Renlu hopefully hope like the ITV station can influence many people. In the past, we did not focus on movie. And now we change the policy, and from January 2022, every Sunday you can have the chance to watch the very good movie. And maybe for the Tzu Chi volunteer, Sunday is not a good timing because there's a lot of Tzu Chi activities. But you can recommend this good news and give this news to your friend or your relatives, and even you can revisit. And those movies were actually picked up by our TV volunteers. And every time when I watch the movie, I usually will write down some good points, what I have learned from the movie. And now you will feel very blessed because the good movie is just one after another. And those are the Japanese good movies. And then we also have the Dao drama. The Dao drama also is a very good drama. It's always talking about the beauty of the life and teach people to do the good deed and how to do the contribution to give our life more valuable. And after you watch the Dao TV drama, there's another new program for 30 minutes after the Dao TV drama. It is also a Japanese drama. I like this program very much. And after the drama, it's Master Zheng Meiyun's teaching. So although the TV program had slightly changed the schedule, but I think that you will enjoy it very much. So if you are willing to transfer and to recommend the good news to your friend or your relatives, you are more than welcome. So especially for the elders, it's very good opportunity for you to watch this program. So Yao Renru say thank you and appreciate the online study group give us this chance to promote. So please forward and transfer this good news to the friend and to the families you know. So the society needs you, and we also need you. And today we have the interpretation. So start from this year, every week we have 4 different language interpretation. So we have English, Cantonese, and the other, as well as the other language. And in the past, we only had the Chinese broadcasting through Facebook. And nowadays, we also will have a Chinese broadcasting through YouTube. So you can see there is a QR code in my hand. So if you have the cell phone with you right now, you can scan it and get it online immediately. So it will show on the Tzu Chi official website too. So it's easy to find. It's easy to find the link of the online study group on Tzu Chi website. So we like to stay with you because you have positive energies. So now I'm going to introduce all the translation team. Start from this week, we have many volunteers going to doing the written translation. And Master Zheng is very happy and give us a very high encouragement. So actually the translation team is growing and we continue to invite more people to join us. So from the screen, you can see there we have language in variety that can do the written translation. Although in the beginning we may not be very good, but through practicing and doing, we can be better. And so let me introduce, today is the first week of the month. So it's our Kaohsiung translation team will provide the translation. So thank you for all the participants. So today we also have a new member, Sandy. She's going to join with us for the first time to do the interpretation. So those are the interpreters translation members for the Cantonese. They might not be all of them will do the interpretation today, but they also will help each other. We also have a Cambodian language. Thank you for Mingxin, Meiling. And we also, today we also will have a Malay language, translation language. Thank you for everyone's dedication. And you may find some of them are very familiar. Yes, all of them are also doing the English interpretation. So not only English interpretation, also Cantonese, and now also Malay. And now there are two feedbacks we like to share. Xingwen is the one give me the feedback right away after we have the dialogue section with Master Zheng. She said that with the will comes the strength. So we take a master's mission as our mission. And she said that Master Zheng said that knowing foreign language is a very blessed. So because she studied abroad, she liked to buy Jing's everything in different language and send everything to her friends. And when her friends came to Taiwan, she took them to Hualien, Jing's abode. So when I asked her to invite more people to join the written translation team, she contacted those friends, and they were very happy. And after we have the dialogue section with Master Zheng, she realized that right now many of us, our heartland actually was pretty dry. So we needed to be moisturized. And the Dharma teaching is just like the water that can purify our mind. And then Xueyu's feedback is talking about the feedback after she had the dialogue section with Master Zheng. She said that when we back to Hualien in late October, but in a very short period of time, we can invite over 150 volunteers to do the written translation. And many of the volunteers, when we have a meeting with a Master Zheng, those volunteers doesn't have the chance to say a word. They can only wave their hands with a smiley face. But she thought that everyone's thoughts are bound to each other, and this is very touching. And she also said that the unity is the strength. So if we can work together like the ants, then we will have a very big tower. Actually, we were very, very grateful because a light day when we have the dialogue section with Master Zheng, in the first beginning, we were told that we only have 20 minutes. But later on, but then we can share close to 60 minutes. So we really appreciate that the big affinity. So I can have more time to introduce every one of our written translation team. And someone asked me, how can I remember so detailed in every detail? So I told every one of them, saying that please give me your feedback. So I can read it and realize what you have learned from the online study group. So you are more than welcome to give us any feedback. So Master Zheng said that if you work at a teamwork and you can last longer. And then you can see the poster on the screen. This is what we have for next week. We have a master Dalin. And then we also have a superintendent from Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital. Will give us a wonderful sharing next week. So please do not mix the program next week. And the superintendent Lin Xingrong has another new book just published. And, so you are more than welcome. So everybody can join us because everyone can be a talent. And this is the written translation team from Karen. And we will continue to invite more people. And this is the proofreading group on the Chinese. So Japanese written translation team. So there are six volunteers. And they are local. They are from local. And this is the Japanese written translation in Taiwan. And this is the Thai written translation team, 5 people. And we also will have the local volunteer doing the Thai translation team. Thank you, everyone's dedication. Thank you for your contribution. And now you can see more and more. This is the volunteers from our Tzu Chi school in Thailand. So this is a very encouraging word. We say like the people with passion is more blessed. As long as you have passion, you can solve the problem and you can face the difficulty with a positive energy. You can always think at the bright side. So no matter where you are, please let us know and give us your feedback, because your feedback is more very encouraging and inspiring. So last week we have over 200 messages, and then we passed for the sharing 154 times. So in the beginning, let's take a look. This is the teamwork. This is the feedback on the teamwork. And volunteer says that the team members, just like fireflies, throw the light and by the way. And then we have the feedback on the Shijing and the Wenqing's sharing. And they say they are very happy to see Shijing and Wenqing at the online. Both of them look very energetic. And then we have the feedback on the guiding reading on Master Zheng's footprint. And then this is the feedback on the drama blossom all the way, because we have the actress and the actor and the real person joined the online study group last week. And so they also received many positive feedbacks. They say the character the main character looks so great. And then we have the volunteer in Hunei, and she said that the Tzu Chi family always did a good deed and set up a good example. And then we have the volunteer from Japanese. She said that in order to do the good interpretation, she watched the drama. She watched the drama 11 episodes at a time, and she feel touched after she watched this drama. So please do not forget that right now, after the ITV drama, we have another 30 minutes drama. So please join us. And then we have the feedback on the deputy of a CEO for the foundation, Lin Jingxian. Very impressed about her sharing the topic from nothing to something. And many volunteers were touched because Tzu Chi grew out of nothing and then to be able to spread the love over 126 countries and then start from scratch to carry out the formation all over the world for the suffering in the world. And then there's a feedback on the pure practitioner on Chen Hao. And then we have the feedback on volunteer Baotou and Huishan, who composed a very good song. Thank you very much for everyone. Give us your feedback and appreciate your feedback from Canada. Well, I haven't seen the feedback from Yuan for a while. Thank you very much. So even the weather is under it's a minus 17 degrees, but we still feel happy to join the online study group. And this is the feedback from Malaysia. Thank you, every one of you. Thank you for every one of you to give us the feedback every week, so that we can inspire more people and to spread the love. And thank you for the feedback from Japan, from Philippines, and from Indonesia, and from Thailand. Please invite more people to join the online study group. And from feedbacks from mainland China, and they also mentioned the feedback that they admire. They admire Lin Jingxian's sharing, and then volunteers from different cities of Taiwan. Thank you for every one of you. So, and then we can see the feedback received from YouTube. And she said that during Chinese New Year, the young generation kneel down and to receive the red envelope is a very good tradition to pass on. And like Malaysia, she said that the drama series is so real of our everyday life, and the actors and the actresses look so beautiful. So thank you very much. So you can see like the RITV drama is very, very popular and very welcome because they are real story of our volunteers. And then we also have the feedback. We also have another feedback from the night online study group last week. And a night online study group, there's not many feedback. but we still appreciate. So this is the picture. This is the picture drawing from Elizabeth from Malaysia. So cute. And every speaker looks so real and vivid. So every one of the speakers, they really enjoy and they like the drawing from Elizabeth very much. And now we're going to go out to South Africa. So let's watch the video first. So this is because of a COVID-19 outbreak in South Africa. Many underprivileged people, they have the difficulty to experience the very difficult life. But when we provide aid relief to the disaster area, we always work with the local charity organizations. The CEO Huang at the South Africa, he's very young, and we also needed to do the interpretation. And the speaker right now shown on the video, she is the founder of a small local charity organization called WAS. And she said that Tzu Chi started from nothing, just like we do. But if we can accumulate a very tiny strength, and then eventually you will become a very big power. And the interpreter, he said that if we can help one people, and then the one people help the other three people, and then to expand more people, it's just like one seed to infinite. So right now, another video showing this is a very historical moment. And this is the groundbreaking ceremony in November 2020. The first Jingyuan in South Africa. So the speaker is from Taiwan government. He said that Tzu Chi in South Africa had done so much charity in the past 28 years, and he's much appreciated Tzu Chi's effort. And the speaker, CEO Huang, he said that actually they moved ahead the schedule for 2 months because they worried the COVID-19 outbreak might cause them some problem. So let's back to the year of 1992. We have the first volunteer, and then we inspire more people to join the charity mission. And like the sister Tzu Ming, she said that we will do our very best to make a good use of this new Jingyuan to help more people in need. It took us almost 16 hours from Taiwan to South Africa. So another video, you can see that when the COVID-19 surged in South Africa, Tzu Chi immediately carried out the aid distribution to the people in need. And the CEO Huang, he said that we do our very best. So Huang Tengwei is a young volunteer, and next time when he was here, he was sharing the good story about the Mozambique. So because of the hour difference, actually it's a little bit tough for him. So now let's say the password and to welcome Huang Tengwei. So because I like to stay with you because you have positive energies. So now welcome Huang Tengwei. So good day everyone. So right now it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
As the case of the coronavirus surge, March 26th of 2020, South African government officials announced a national lockdown of 3 weeks. On April 9th, the lockdown was extended 2 more weeks until the end of April. The lockdown makes the care recipients' life even harder, the hardship of the life of the lower privileged population even worse. South African Tzu Chi volunteer reported many care recipients have already run out of food. Tzu Chi African chapter collaborated with the government officials on the charity mission very often. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers was able to get passes to community centers were granted. Volunteer gathers at the community center to pack food and daily necessity, and we help, and we also distribute the packages. We also have help 27 hospitals. I'm here to report it. I wanted to share a story in regards to benevolence was rewarded. The stories will encourage more enthusiasm of volunteers and hope that the challenge of during the pandemic will overcome will be combated by our courage. And how about as the son of our commissioner, Samaria? Samaria, how about didn't continue his study. He wanted to, he stayed at home to help out the bakery store at home. His mom, as a commissioner, his mom always take care of the ill and the poor in the community, such as the terminal ill cancer patients and the AIDS patients, and also the elderly living alone. And there's a case that cancer patients that their cancer cells are full of his body, and after the Samaria's very good take care of him, and all the cancer cells fell down. It was like a miracle. His skin became glabrous. And there is a case that the community neighbors say that she's a witch, and we were afraid to visit her. We went to visit her, and she slept in garbage dumps. It looks very dirty, and we were afraid that when we visit her, we found a freezer. And we were so afraid that when we cleft the freezer with an axe, we were shocked to see a pile of bones fell out from the freezer. And then we later identified those bones were not human body parts, they are animal bones. We were so afraid to open up the freezer. When we cleft open the freezer with an axe, we were shocked to see a pile of bones fell out from the freezer. They were not human body part. They were animal bones. We didn't know why she kept all those bones in her freezer. And we found a heavy bucket in the old lady's place. When we opened up the bucket, it was very smelly. We couldn't help to jump away to avoid the smell. It's very hard to describe how smelly it was from spoiled chicken. The pile of the garbage from the place was very unbelievably large. We had to use pickup trucks for 15 time to carry out dumps and garbage cleanup from her place. After we clean up her place, we decided we need to help her tear down her place to rebuild. As her place was built with mud blocks, it would collapse in rains. After we helped this old lady, help out also help out at the, with us, help out grow up in a family full of love. He is he followed his mother's footsteps to extend his helping hand to the ill and the poor in his own community. After he received the Tzu Chi volunteer uniform for college students, he started helping out his mom in taking care of the ill and the poor in the community. And on the drive of feelings of personal responsibility to take care of his community, Hebao called for his peers to help out. Before Hebao participated in Tzu Chi activity, he kind of lost sense of direction in his life. He did not want to continue study, but once he became a Tzu Chi volunteer, he was very responsible, and he got scholarship from Tzu Chi Foundation, and he graduated from law school with a master's degree, and he became a lawyer. And there's an old, very experienced Tzu Chi commissioner here from Tembisa area, and they have a rehabilitation clinic was founded by a few grandmas who they only graduated from elementary school, but although their mathematics was not great, but they have the loving heart. They tried so hard to establish this rehabilitation clinic. So although we during the pandemic, volunteers afraid that Sister Tzu Ming, she is almost 80 years old, and although she's very energetic and she is very enthusiastic in the Tzu Chi activities, and so collegiate Tzu Chi volunteer is afraid that she might be prone to pneumonia, asking her to stay home, but she refused. She had to take care of the ill and the poor in the community and herself. So, but during the because the breakout of the pandemic since last March, the rehabilitation clinic have to stop the service, suspend the service temporarily, and Sister Tzu Ming apologized to the public, to the community, that they have to suspend the service. But during the pandemic lockdown, we still have managed to distribute food and goods necessity package to the lower privileged population. And we are very grateful that Master Chen Yan and Tzu Chi headquarters in Taiwan overcome difficulty to send to send rice and the herbal tea from Tzu Chi Taiwan headquarters. Once we volunteer found that they haven't seen Tzu Ming for very few days, and they went visit her, found how she fall into the lethargic sleep, and she was confirmed case of the coronavirus, but she recovered very fast, and she said she told the medical professions that she recovered so fast from the coronavirus because she is a Tzu Chi volunteer, and she is a vegetarian. That's why she recovered so fast. Tengwei, the CEO of our South African chapter, he is the first person I found that he can speak even faster than I was. So it's a challenge for the oral interpreter. Thank you, the young commissioner, CEO from South Africa.
And how many weeks have we been passing through? And thank you for the love from all over the world. So this is the love that we have to pass on, and we are continuing to just collect your like money and for the love of us Lotus Sutra. And now we have almost $40,000 like Lotus Sutras for now, and this is wonderful. Right, we are on the way to 40,000 now, so this is very important, right? And it's been the 43rd week that we have been collecting love, right? And this is the result that we are doing. So let me share the great love for you. And now let's take a look, okay, at all the good days, right? Okay, so you really have to like subscribe to our website, and we can share the great love all together. And please like us and subscribe to us. And there are 3 treasures of Jinsi, and we can use like the dews and the like liquids here, and we have like herbal drinks, and we really have like a good products, and we can really use it, and it's really comfortable, so we can use it and we can refresh ourselves. And this is kind of the herbal liquid, and this is wonderful. And I have been using it for a long time, and it is good, of course. And under the pandemic, basically, aside from wearing a mask, then please also trust Mr. Zheng Meiyun and our development team, so we can have such good products with us all the time. And this is a Jinsi herbal liquid and herbal tea. And ladies and gentlemen, we are so lucky that we're in Kaohsiung, because we can have like a great discount when we buy such good product. And as well, we can also have the gift in my hand. This is like a tea candy, Jinsi like a tea, like a gummy. And also here on my hand, you can see the red rocks, and this is the soybean milk powder, and they are the gifts for us, right? So if you come over here to the Jinsi bookstore in Kaohsiung, then you can enjoy all the great gifts here, right? So today, what is like a good offer? Then we have like a liquid, like a herbal liquid. And also, let me tell you that the Jinsi has like 3 treasures. That we have like a herbal liquid, and we have a herbal drink, and we can have a kind of a well-protected thing for us, right? And who made such a carefree phrase, okay? And our like a Lin Biyu, okay, did. And we have a doctor, and his name is Zheng Meiyun, and he has a wonderful comment for us, right? And we have a volunteer from Thailand saying hello to us. Then we have a Guan Xinlin from Canada saying that this is wonderful, that we can just like listen to the Dharma online. And Guan Xinlin has been with us, and she never stopped listening to us, right? And Shijing Wenjing are in Taipei and Jingyuan in Kaohsiung. And she says that we have to hold on to the chance and study hard together. And Li Xiang is watching. And where are you, Li Xiang? And we have Qiu Yu from Taoyuan saying hello and go, go, go. Wang Mingxian, the hero of the online, says to us that everybody get online now. Okay, and we have volunteer from California saying hello, we are watching with you. And we have volunteer from Malaysia, and we have Tzu Chi. Okay, and please, I don't know where are you. Okay, maybe you're from Kaohsiung. Okay. We have like Chen Zi from Malaysia, and you give me great encouragement. And one message is saying that thanks to Tengwei that wakes up at 3 a.m. and shared a great story for us, right? So how wonderful it is, right? And this is wonderful. And this message says, you know, the deepest sincerity to South Africa. And here is, and okay, and Biru, and also says that they are wonderful stories from South Africa. This is difficult, but they still made it. And this is a message maybe from Laos. Okay, Kemo say we Keko, maybe this is your name. And you say good morning, and let me know where you're from, please. And we have Li Zhu says like every being has the life, and this is where the beauty comes from. Okay, so wonderful message, but let me tell me where you're from. And so now on the screen, on the ITV, and we are working hard to bring the great influential, the positive effect to you. So please turn on the TV and watch the good shows. Okay. And this is from Yao Renlu, who says thank you to us, right? So we don't have to hold on to the rights, but we have to be influential people, right? And here are three like a positive impact here. And we have like Jinshu from Thailand. And she says that we are just, you know, ordinary people, and we know our influential factors is kind of limited, but we can do our best. And she says that, okay, it is kind of a great influence on her because of the a warm sharing with Mr. Zheng Meiyun online. Okay, and she says that she doesn't know any Thai language, but through the warming hearts and through the collaboration, okay, and she witnessed the greater love beyond languages, and this is what she witnessed on the day of the warm assembly with Master Zheng Meiyun. And Master Zheng Meiyun says that we have to listen, we have to sing, and we have to put the Dharma into practice. This is wonderful. And let's go to the second piece by Li Huimiao. And she says, you know, I just carried my sincere gratitude toward everything, right? And well, I only sit, you know, with like a Master Zheng Meiyun, okay, at the assembly, and I just shared my feelings in 2 minutes, but I had to like practice like for a long time, and this is very, very important. And here, and we also have like I also witnessed the spirits of fireflies. Okay, and maybe you are curious that, okay, and we also listen to a wonderful song named like a Firefly Spirit, right? And let me tell you the secret, and actually the composer is not good at the music, but wow, how can he just compose such like a wonderful rhymes and wonderful music, right? And this is all because of his sincerity in heart, okay? He felt the great love from Master De Zhao from the lyrics, and he just came up with all the lyrics, okay, for the whole song, and inside his mind, okay, inside like Baolou's mind, he says that he must shoulder the responsibility as a firefly, okay, which also has kind of a dim light, okay, in California. All right, and let me tell you, I will always share this wonderful song, "Spirit of a Firefly," okay, on our line groups, and you can also check it out. Okay, and we want to be just like the fireflies that we can shine the world. Okay, but with everybody's collaboration. And this is a wonderful song, so please listen to it sometime. Okay, on the website. Okay. And now it's time for us to listen to the sharing of the Master Zheng Meiyun's footprint, right? Okay. And today we will have Yuan Huiling, and she's gonna be sharing with us the piece, from Master Zheng Meiyun's footprint, and her subject is cause at the present and the effect in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I'm Yuan Huiling from Fengshan, and my Dharma name is Tzu Chi. And today I'm, going to share with you the Master Zheng Meiyun's footprint on March 16 to 24th. And my subject is cause at the present and the effect in the future. And in the morning assembly, Master Zheng Meiyun teaches us that whatever we do and whatever we say, and they are the cause. And finally, we will, receive the effect. And so we have to know to be grateful. In Chinese, grateful, is composed from cause and the heart. Okay. So it means that we do something, so it brings us the cause, and it will bring out the effect. And we have to use our heart and accept the effect sincerely. This is what the Master Zheng Meiyun teaches us in the morning assembly. So if we are always, willing to be helped, and Master Zheng Meiyun teaches us that, and we must be some kind of a blessed so we can be helped, right? And this is, the film showing that people in Africa suffering from great disease. I really can bear to see such sufferings in Africa. Is this the cause and effect on them? Therefore, cause and effect brings a lot of sufferings. Nobody can help them. If they want to be helped, they need also some blessings and the good affinities. If they have the blessings, and they can meet the benefactors in their life. So in this picture, people in Africa just receive the powders, the corn powders from Tzu Chi, and Tzu Chi volunteers also promote the ideas of growing to them, so they can just grow the food by themselves. This is an 18-year-old, and she suffered from stomach ache. So we bought the medicine for her. It costs only 40 kwacha, which means just under $4. And she just couldn't afford to buy the medicine, so she had a big problem. Thank you. This is a preacher from Master Zheng Meiyun. So no matter where you live, okay, in the good environment or in a very, very terrible like surroundings, and they are all because of the cause, and so we receive the effect, right? Okay, if we do good and we receive bad consequences, right? And if we are blessed and we can meet the benefactors in our life, and we can turn the suffering into the blessings, right? So we can do good deeds instead and make like a greater cause in our future life. And Master Zheng Meiyun also teaches us in Africa, okay, volunteers in Africa have been doing the good promotion of good deeds in Africa, and they also have a lot of like local volunteers like afterwards. And many children in Africa may just suffer some diseases after they were born. And we just can't bear to see such things and such like people in there. And why are they living in such a bad environment there? And we can say that this is because of the negative cause. So they receive the negative effect. Again, so if we are blessed, then we are blessed to meet our benefactors, right? So Master Zheng Meiyun really loves all the volunteers and all the people in Africa, and they receive the love, okay, from people. So they are also willing to do something and bring love to others as they did before. So they are a bridge, okay, of the blessing field from Taiwan. So all the volunteers locally in Africa, and they are wonderful people because they convey the great Dharma. Okay. And they also encourage the Taiwan like entrepreneurs that okay, they can just do something for the local people, and because they have been working there for a long time and they make a fortune there. So it's been over 20 years, right? And we spread the greater love there, and the love there can be kind of a greater trees, like there. And most of the African volunteers are in a poor condition, but they are spiritually rich, and they are willing to seize the chance and give, no matter how difficult the situation is. Even they are walking on the muddy roads in a country, and they don't just stop themselves from doing good deeds. They are poor, but they turn their mind into the positive side. So they have the positive seed in mind, and they cultivate themselves with such great seeds. Now, let's go to a preach from Mr. Zheng Meiyun. Now we hold on to the aspiration. So we grow a seed of cause, and it will turn into the fruit in the future. We witnessed Africa under such a barren environment there, and then people suffer, and this is the fruit. This is the effect that they receive in this life. Born in such a place, in such a period of time, if they don't turn their mindset, then they can turn their surroundings as well. The volunteer in South Africa devoted themselves to understanding, to accompanying people who are suffering there, and promote the spirit and of like a Tzu Chi to them. Therefore, we have a local volunteer there, and they are given the seed, the cause of Tzu Chi, and they spread such like good seeds to others. And this is the way they cultivated themselves. They are not fear of the suffering in this life, and they give unconditionally, and they also turn their own lives. And this is the power of love that bring to people. Thanks to Mr. Zheng Meiyun's preach. Yes, if we are under a really bad condition, living environment, and we don't turn our own mindset, And of course, then we can turn the environment into better one. If we don't foster a better land, then of course, then we don't receive like a fruits and the good like effects there. So we have to hold on to the chance when we still are in health condition to give, right? And not only ourselves, but also we have to encourage others to give and do good deeds altogether. And when everybody does the great things, and we can be blessed, and we can receive the good effects, and without diseases and without disasters, and this is the best blessings for us, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you. So this is. And last week, Huiling had to accompany with the volunteers of the bone marrow donation. Therefore, she does the cherish today. So this is a kind of arrangement that we had today until this, right? So of course, that she's always well prepared. And now we have a lot of oral interpretation online through many languages. And maybe there are some languages that we may not understand. So we want to let you understand, okay, what the online study group Belgium is doing now. So we are not the best, but we are doing our best. And we make you understand the Dharma, and we make you understand the whole thing and the languages. Okay. But on top of this, then we always like Mr. Zheng Meiyun's teachings in mind. And this is what we are pursuing in our life. So let's get used to it, right? And we are trying our best to offer you, better service, okay? And you don't have to be too professional and do good deeds. And you only have to start, then you can be better or even the best. And then this is the very beginning of 2022. So what is your plan for the new year? And don't worry, Mr. Zheng Meiyun tells us that if we step forward, and this is a wonderful beginning for us in our life, all right? So would you like to like us and subscribe to our online study group Gaotou and give us great messages or comments? And here is a message saying from the oral interpretation in Japanese, right? Although he is not online today doing the oral interpretation, but he still concentrates on this and give us like a positive messages here. And we also receive a message saying that we always deliver the greater love and spread the love altogether. And the people from South Africa really receive the blessings, and they don't fear the terrible conditions there, and they still do the good deeds. And she is very touched. And this is a wonderful part, right? And okay, and do you realize that when we call out to Huang Tengwei and we listen to the sharing by Yuan Huiling, and they are both about South Africa, and we have a Zheng, okay, leaving us a good messages, right? And here is a volunteer from Taipei saying that this is a cause and effect, and that we learned something today. Thank you for your sharing. And here is a message saying that it's great to have you in South Africa. And thank you to Huang Tengwei from Canada. And Huang Tengwei says that we have to be grateful toward each other, because every one of us are the benefactors toward one another, each other. Okay, so now let's take a look at the brief here and the posters here. And we will have a Mr. Dalin with us, and we have a Superintendent Lu Meiyun with us, right? And Mr. Dalin is still with Mr. Zheng Meiyun in Dalin, so she will be online next week. So Lin Xinrong, the superintendent of Hualian City Hospital, will be here with us, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in Gaotou, and please spread the good news and promote such a wonderful thing for us, right? Okay. And now it's time for us to go to the team from the United States. And we also have good messages and good positive effects here from the United States. In 2014, and when I arrived in the United States, and I witnessed that volunteers in America, and we still spread the great love there and do good deeds there. And now she's back in Kaohsiung, and she still witness the kind of passion and the greater deeds that we do to people. Okay, and therefore she began to compose like a catchy phrase, like a recap for us, right? And she thought that she couldn't do this, but now, okay, she is good on this, right? After she listens to the preachers from Mr. Zheng Meiyun, and she can have a dharma and make them into the catchy phrase for us, right? Okay, so this is wonderful, right? So now let's go to the recap of the catchy phrase, right? Okay.
Okay, let's take a few minutes go through the recap that we have last week. Yeah, this is from last week, 2 days, that 28th and 29th of December. Okay. All right, this is a recap written by Zhang Cijing, says that love is always there. With everyone doing Tzu Chi together, the energy of love is boundless. And Sister Taipei Jen mentions that when the air crash and explosive disaster in Kaohsiung happened, the Tzu Chi volunteer always quietly accompanied the scene. And this recap is about actor and real person in Dai Theater visit the reading club site. The actor Zhou Yongxian and actress Hong Xiaolin, they learn the challenge themselves to portray the characteristic of the real person, Wang Mingxian and Hu Meixiang. Okay. All right. Okay. The recap is about brother Baotou and sister Li San sang the new song, and they hope the new song will light up our hearts and show the way for all beings. Okay. Yeah, the CEO Tzu Chi Charity Foundation, Yan Bowen shares the charity work has been done around the world in the past. It includes providing pandemic PPE and relief supplies, donating BNT vaccines, promoting public warfare project headed by younger volunteers. Yeah, that's big. Let's give them a big clap. They did a very good job. This is from Yan Bowen. And Brother Xiong Shimin shares that how Tzu Chi volunteer managed to provide aids in response in India and Haiti. Yeah. Okay. Brother Wang Yunjing has witnessed all kinds of impermanent from international disaster. So because of this, he calmly faces anything in the future. Thank you. Okay. So we have
see that the editor is Tzu Chi. If I believe that you are the benefactor of Sister Suya, I would have her to as your editor. Dr. Chen is the benefactor, a very important person in Suya's life. And there's a positive feedback from Dr. Chen. Let's take a look. let's watch the video. The review from Dr. Chen in Kaohsiung. We are very thankful that Dr. Chen came to Kaohsiung to share his experience. And before the pandemic, we did not wear mask. We could face to face talk to each other, but now we have to wear mask. And actually, Dr. Chen is a very busy doctor. He usually on Wednesday he's quite busy, but today, because he wants to share the humanistic spirit of Tzu Chi medical service, medical mission, so he had to arrange his time to share his experience here today through internet. And some people say that it was very rare to see Dr. Chen smile, but when he came to after he worked in Tzu Chi, he had witnessed suffering, and he now become even more gentle, even gentler than before. And now you quite often see his smile, and he and also so because I want to interview him, so I have to do research on Dr. Chen. And I found out that I respect him quite. I look up to him quite a lot because he is a role model to all of every one of us. And he is very courageous that he, in Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital, he received patients that are rejected by other hospitals because the severe illness. Other hospitals might not wanted to take the risk, but Dr. Chen, he's just so kind, and he opened the door to receive the patients. So the patient's family were very touched by his. And I felt numbness in the. There's a tumor in his brain, and it's very rare to have symptoms, and it would affect the motion nerve on her face. And now after the operation, the surgery, the patient gained their health back, and Suya is very grateful to the care of the medical staff, and now walk out to the community. This patient is very grateful that she gained back her health, and because of Dr. Chen. And we see that in Dalin Hospital, and they took good care of patients. They pay attention to very little details during the pandemic outbreak. We try our best to lower the infection rate of medical professions, and we hope that our preparations in the hospital will be able to protect our patients from infection. And this is a dentist operation, and there's and this tumor were followed through the nerves on the 7th pair of the nerve, and this patient would feel the numbness and the teeth, the toothache, and also the drools, and also the trigeminal nerves. And let's say again, let's welcome Dr. Chen. He is a very handsome doctor. Dr. Chen from Tzu Chi Dalin Hospital. He is the neurosurgeon in Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. And I'm very thankful that that Sister Meiyun, that she researched on me to get to know me. I appreciate I have this opportunity to be able to meet with all of you, Mr. and Mrs. Boys and girls online. It's my pleasure to meet with all of you. And we can use this new technology to share my experience with you online through internet. My name is Chen Jincheng. I'm the neurosurgeon in Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, and we are. The last time I was here to share the spinal surgeon, but this time I'm going to share with you the cranial surgeon. And the first case was he is Mr. Xi from Malaysia, and his memory fading, and his family thought he is suffering from the dementia. After he went through the clinical exam, and doctor found out that he did not have dementia. He has a tumor in his brain for about 3 centimeter large dimension. And he lived in Malacca, and he went to all the various hospitals in Malacca, and no doctors could help him. And he also traveled to Penang, and also traveled to Kuala Lumpur, but all the doctors say that it's very risky to have operation, and after operation he might become vegetative state, or he might risk. We are not able to see your PowerPoint. Can you show your PowerPoint over the internet? Sister Xianya, can you show the PowerPoint? And she is trying. Oh, can you see that PowerPoint? Can we continue? And Mr. Xi is from Malacca, from Penang. He also went to hospital in Penang, and doctors say that it was very risky to have a surgery, so he didn't have proper treatment, and so the tumor grew bigger and bigger, and so he felt in year 2019, April, he fell down in his bathroom, and the doctor evaluated that he only had a few months of life. And when the family were in this despair, and Dr. Xi's grandson studied in Tzu Chi, and so his grandson talked to a Tzu Chi volunteer. So they introduced him to Tzu Chi volunteers introduced him to seek for medical help assistance from Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital. So he was when he came to Taiwan, he was in wheelchair, and he didn't know that he didn't talk to us. He didn't know what kind of medical treatment he need to went through, but his family had a big hope in upon from Dalin City Hospital, and we also helped them to find a place to stay. We lived in Malacca, and we went up north to Penang, and we also went to Kuala Lumpur. And many doctors say that it's too risky to have operation. So my father, myself, went into vegetative state, or he might die on the operation table. So we were very afraid that for my father to went through this operation. We found that my father, without the proper treatment, he become more ill over the time. And at first, we were afraid to tell our father that at first the doctors say the doctor's diagnosis and estimation was he only have 2 years of life. And after he fell down on in the bathroom, the doctor said that he only have a few months of life. And at first he say there's the doctor say the tumor, the dimension of the tumor was 3 centimeter, but after we have the exam, we found that the dimension of the tumor was 6 centimeter, and the tumor was in the center of his brain. And it's really, really very risky. But I know that he and his family has no other places to go, so we have to take the risk. And we had the operation for him, a very successful operation. And let's watch the interview. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Because of you, I can stand up on my own feet. And you can continue. After the surgery, he can go back to his home to have the rehabilitation exercise. Now take a look. He can do the rehabilitation exercise, and he's very happy he's able to participate in the wedding ceremony for his son. And he is from Malacca, from Malaysia to Taiwan, and had he stayed in Dalin City Hospital for a month, and he regained his health. and returned back to Malaysia to join the wedding ceremony for his son. And the next one is the arterial venous malformation. And the tumor is so big. The tumor was so big. It was very risky because the tumor is so big. He suffered from the hydrocephalus. So we have to put into a drainage tube to help his.
And we also have a case, from the young people, and he is only 16 years old. He's a boy, and he is a very young boy, a senior high school boy, enjoying sports, and something really unbelievable to him. And from his disease, and let me introduce the story to you. Okay, and his parents thought that he only had a cold, so he fainted. But finally, when he was sent to the emergency room, and they learned that this is very dangerous, and because he had like a dilated pupils, that means he lost the vital signs, and he was very young, and he just was sent to the hospital immediately. So we worked hard and saved him. And his mom said that he just had like a headache, and he just vomited, and I felt that's no problem. But finally, he just fainted out, and he fell off, and it produced like a big noise and shocked me. Therefore, I realized something wrong, and I sent him to the hospital. And he just told the doctor, therefore, that he had a kind of a terrible headache, and and I learned that he is getting like unconscious. Therefore, the doctors saw there's something wrong with the boy, and I was given like a critically ill notice from the doctors, and I just got shocked. Why? Next page, please. And actually, such a disease, and it is that arterial venous like malformation, and so many factors will cause such a disease, right? And because of his dilated pupils, and this is kind of critical, then we had to give him the surgery immediately, and he had the operation therefore. And you will see that we know this is a kind of a big operation, and we needed to send like over 6,000 cc of the blood to him. And the surgery was successful, but we wonder whether he just could wake up or not. And all the medical team therefore did their best and saved this boy. And finally, he recovered, and he stayed at the ICU for over 3 weeks. But we also had a kind of a checkup on her, physical checkup on her, and we cut his like a tumor off, but he had a second syndrome, and it is also a big problem for him. So we had the second surgery on him. So the first surgery was the intracranial surgery, and the second surgery was that we give him the skull, and the third surgery is that we cut off his like arterial venous malfunction. So the clip, please. And this is the whole process that we had the surgery, the brain surgery for the young boy. and then we cut the malformation off, which can prevent him from hemorrhage next time. And now this is another interview, and let's see what his mom said. And mom, we know that you are very touched by all the dedication from the medical team. And is there any side effect on your boy? And actually, he is here today. You are Miss Jian, right? And you had the 3 surgeries, right? And I was shocked, really. And how are you now? Good. You can play basketball now? And do you have anything to say our uncle, I'm sorry, the brother doctors? And I'm very grateful that they saved my life. And thanks to the medical team. And say Happy Father's Day to the young doctor. Thank you. Okay, bless you. And thank you very much. So you can begin talking now. And see, it is, what he is like now. And we say thank you to Dr. Wu that gives him the surgery. So he recovered so well now. And this is a kind of great result that he is so wealthy now, because we thought that he would have been the Meiji, or he would have suffered the paralysis. Okay, and now let me show you the third case. And this is a problem also in the brain. And this is an 83-year-old volunteer, Mr. Yang, who served in a cycling, like a recycling station. And he was a very important volunteer in the recycling station, because he does the recycling every day, and including his wife and including his sons, and they were all Tzu Chi volunteers. But one day he fell off from the 3rd floor. Therefore, he was sent to the hospital. And through the physical checkup, and we see the hemorrhage in his brain, that this was not a big problem. And we just put him into observation, and therefore he successfully got home. However, when he was home, he suffered from a headache, and his family were worried about his condition. And then he was sent back to the hospital again. And that he suffered finally the urinary incontinence, and he had weak limbs, and finally lost the ability of speaking. And he also had a sluggish look, and he had a problem on his eye focuses. And we learned that he really had a tumor in his brain, and this was the second time he was hospitalized. And you see the swelling of his brain, right? And now let me show you the image when he was doing the rehabilitation. I fell off from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, and I was blooding on my head. And I gradually lost my consciousness, and I even couldn't speak. And I just couldn't speak clearly. And he suffered from urinary incontinence. and he couldn't speak, and he had no reaction when we talked to him. And after I had a surgery on my brain, I gradually recovered. And I also heard that some brain surgeries were not that successful, but that I'm lucky. And when I got home and I served in a recycling station, and when I was assigned, to do some recycling jobs, and I just followed and I did it. And my father received like a careful, like was cared by them very carefully. And so my father can just recover the soul successfully. And I'm grateful that this 83-year-old volunteer recovered so soon. And initially, I thought that he needed like intensive care for like more than 3 months. But I was surprised that he finally showed up in a recycling station just after a month. And I think, I lived a really valuable life because, I can just save the people's life. And I learned that, this like a volunteer now is still participating in a Dharma talk, and I'm so happy. And in the image here, and we see like a volunteer, a patient suffering from the disease from trigeminal nerve disease, right? And this is a 71-year-old lady, and within 5 years, and he got like a pains on her face, especially when she brushed her teeth and cleans her face, right? And she says to me that she suffered from the pain on his face really, really frequently, and she just couldn't bear to deal with this, right? And she thought that she might have some like ache on the tooth or teeth. But finally, we realized that this is all because of his trigeminal nerve. And how painful is she? She suffered from the pain, and finally she found it out, all right? And therefore, yeah, she took the painkillers and she went to the temples, and she had whatever she could, and she just can't recover, okay? And luckily, and she made the benefactors, and they are the doctors from Tzu Chi Hospital, okay? And she was here, therefore, and had the physical checkup, and we learned that she got some problems and on her nerves and on her veins. And before the surgery, and she was so painful that she couldn't even put on her mask. And let's take a look. She didn't eat anything. Okay, no, I couldn't. And I just had some fluid, like water. And can you close your mouth? No, I can't. My mouth, like an X, I can close my mouth.
Now the screen is the surgery process. And let's take a look at the interview. And when even the towel touched my face, it would trigger the pain. And when I suffer from the pain, my children were very worried about me. I didn't know that the trigeminal nerve pain is like very painful, like fierce pain. and we couldn't bear to see her suffering from the fierce pain. Good morning. Do you feel better? Do you still feel the pain? If I don't touch it, I won't feel the pain. Thank you. Thank you for your help, doctor. Good morning, doctor. Do you feel better? I feel so much better. Even my grandchildren, they now watch TV, watch the TV to see doctors from city hospitals to share the medical knowledge. Before she had surgery, she couldn't even bear to open up her mouth to speak, and now she become very talkative because she doesn't suffer from the nervous pain anymore. And you can see that on her face that she felt joyful. And now you can see the joyful expression on her face compared to the to her facial expression before the surgery. And now she is very joyful every day. It's very. She even had difficulty to swallow her saliva, and now she could open up her mouth freely to speak. And we only have 5 minutes left. Do I need to continue my sharing? And there's and this case, he was in coma for 60 days, and he had an injury at a car accident, and at first, doctors thought that he would become a vegetative state, and after we help him, and now he recovered and he became a Tzu Chi volunteer. And when he had accident, he was only 29 years old, and he was an electrician. Now after, if we could, as a doctor, we will try our best to rescue a patient if we are able to. So he had hydrocephalus. We still need to use the drainage tube in his brain to help the cerebrospinal fluid to be induced, so his brain will be discutant. But I know he is a doctor. He is a father, and his children were still very young. He need to recover to help his family, because he was in coma, and he even he was out from intensive care unit. He couldn't even open his eyes. He couldn't even have any motion. But the doctors say that he's not in a vegetative state. And so he was transferred to Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital to seek for medical assistance from Dr. Chen. He lost his the speech capability, so he after rehabilitation exercise and help from Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital for 3 years. Now he recovered. Although his eye nerves shrunk, and his the speech ability couldn't recover totally, but at least he's alive, and he is able to he's able to take actions on his own, and he gained confidence in Tzu Chi recycling station. At first he was in the recycling station just to kill time, but now after he involved in recycling station, many volunteers took good care of him and encouraged him. Even he couldn't communicate very well because his speech ability was very limited, but the recycling volunteer taught him how to speak and also very interact with him very patiently. Dr. Chen, can you complete your sharing in a few minutes? And this when Mr. Wen Chen, and after he worked in recycling station, he recovered even faster. And he also participated as a volunteer in Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital, and he also returned back to as an outpatient as a case to my clinic. Now he grasped all the opportunity to pay back to the society, and he is able to expand his potential. Although there's inconvenience in his body, but he is still able to pay back to the society and become a person who is very influential, not only to and very encouraging to volunteer in the recycling station. Thank you for listening to my sharing. Let's give a big hand to Dr. Chen. From now on, I'll call you Brother Chen. Yeah. And I know that the Dharma message is at Tzu Chi Dalin Hospital, so that you are not able to, you want to be by the side of Dharma message, and you are not able to visit us today physically with us, but you share your experience online. Thank you. For over 2 decades, you work very hard and studying Tzu Chi Hospital. Even when Tzu Chi Dalin Hospital just first established, everything was not ready. The resources were scarce, but you were not afraid of any difficulties. For in coma for 60 days, the volunteers, the volunteer Wen Chen, he was in coma for 60 days, and now he recovered and he could become. He gained back his motion ability. He can walk and take actions on his own, and we can see that Dr. Chen, he is not very good at speech, but giving speech, but he is very emotional and he is very compassionate. You can see that from when he's sharing when he's sharing about the brother Wen Chen's story that his patient that was suffered in coma for 60 days. When he mentioned this patient, he still had tears in his eyes. He still have the feelings for the suffering of his patients. Dr. Chen is a very compassionate doctor and very kind. He treated all his patients like his family members. And he's the coolest Dr. Chen. He's the coolest doctor I've ever seen. He very seldom smile. And now I mentioned that you very seldom see his smile. Now he's smiling. You can see that on the screen that he's smiling. His smile is very cute. And many people suffer from chronic illness, and we're just like seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, that our chronic there's a rescue to our chronic illness and disease. After the treatment of Dalin hospital doctors and medical staff, many patients have recovered. Very kind doctors from Dalin Hospital. The tumor was 6 centimeters large in dimension, but Dr. Chen overcome all the difficulties to help the patient. Let's raise our hands. Brother Chen, we'll see you later. See you next time. Brother Chen, keep on smiling. You are such a nice doctor, great doctor. You are the hope of many patients. Please keep smiling. And now it's the exercise time. If you might not have chance to meet Dr. Chen in person, but you can still share what your thoughts about Dr. Chen's sharing online. And let's stand up, rise, and let's exercise together.
来，我们慢下来，双手张开往上，慢下来不是停下来哦，让我们调气，等一下又要再从头喽。从头是什么？收脚收手，一起来。我会守护在你的身旁，加油！倾听你的欢喜与悲伤，手脚张开，点亮每颗沉睡的星星，抬起头与你分享。大力开合，我会陪着你一起成长。现场好棒哦！大家加油加油！线上的家人们一起来哦！画圆。站在太阳升起的地方，迎接第一道曙光。1、2、3、4、5、6，再一天。1、2、3、4，在上面闪亮一下。好，来，慢慢的手先下来。活动主要祝福的这句话，希望今年2022年的第一次线上读书会，我们一起来说好不好？好，我来先跟大家提示一下哈，有加动作哦，要记起来哦。健康活力旺，身体健康上盖赞，这样可以吗？可以。好了，一次哦，一次 OK 哦，预备来，健康活力旺，身体健康上盖赞，祝福大家，谢谢。好，非常的感恩，也到简报画面，今天
Okay, thank you. Thank you. The activity team always give us so much energies. So now look at my PowerPoint, and then let me respond some message that we just received. And like Yang Huiling, she said that I really appreciate Dr. Chen Jincheng's sharing. And even after you revisit the website, you still can give us the message. And feedback we received from Malaysia. And we hope that the new year of 2022 will be a great year for everyone. And there is a witness. And he said that we really appreciate Dr. Chen Jincheng. My mom is a good example too. My mom has a very difficult time to walk straight, and after she met Chen Jincheng, she was cured. So thank you very much. So now look at the PowerPoint today. So we have the feedback from Mainland China, and she said that she was touched about the song composed by our American volunteer, and she was very happy when she found the Shijing and Wenqing on the screen, and she is impressed about the sharing of the Deputy CEO Lin Fuzhong's sharing. And because Lin Fuzhong always uphold her initial exploration, and it's very inspiring. And then we have the feedback from Wang Hui, and she said that she admired Lin Meiyun's sharing, and even Lin has followed Master Zheng over 40 years, and is really our role model. And she enjoyed reading Lin Meiyun's book. And after she finished reading that book, she had more understanding about Lin Fuzhong. And Lin Meiyun always follow Master Zheng's step and really appreciate her dedication. And then a feedback from Chen Lingjun. And she said that Shijing Wenjing, their diligence is very great. And like the Dai TV drama, The Bronze All the Way, they mentioned that during the Chinese New Year, the young generation has to kneel down and to get a red envelope from the elders. It's a very good tradition that they needed to pass on. And she also mentioned about the Lin Biyu's sharing. So when the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital was established, in order to make a Master Zheng feel relief, Lin Biyu always work at the daytime in hospital and out of town to take care of the business at night. Even she slept at the train covered by the newspaper to get warm. It was very touching. And she also appreciated pure practitioner Sihao's sharing, always inspiring. So you are welcome to give us your feedback within 300 to 500 words. And then we also will translate into a different language. Now we are going to call out to in Mongolia. So the speaker, Lin En-Li, she was give us the feedback earlier when she heard the Superintendent Chen Jincheng's sharing. So it's a gathering in Mongolia during the year-end blessing ceremony, and there is a distinguished guest, Li Zhenyi from Taiwan. And then we see another video. The topic is how to give a children a clean planet. It's another year-end blessing ceremony in Mongolia. And the Tzu Chi volunteers spread love in the neighborhood and hopefully to put everybody bond to each other. And then there's another video about another volunteer, Zhao Hao. It's a tea party in Mongolia. And we still remember that last time she sent her daughter to the other city to get a test, and on the way she was trying her very best to get online and to stay with us. So now we're going to call out to the volunteer Zheng Meiyun, who has the same name as mine. So I'd like to stay with you because you have positive energy. So thank you and welcome, Meiyun. Please turn on your microphone so we can hear you. Now you may start to give us your sharing. We couldn't hear your voice. So please turn on your microphone. I think it's your problem, your sign. Please check on your settings. Is there anyone can help? We may have to skip. Actually, we did a test this morning and the last week. It's okay. Sister Meiyun, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please wave your hand. She can hear me. Sorry, because of the technical glitch problem, so we may have to skip this program and then we're gonna move on to the next section. So maybe we can come back later. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the next session to the main character, and then we can come back later.
And now we are going to listen to the sharing from Sister Jingyuan, teacher Jingyuan. And the editor of your sharing is Chen Jia. This is the second time Master Zheng Meiyun travel over to Taiwan. Teacher share gallery information of the fireflight and to shine through the way and show us the way through the tunnel. And when Master Zheng Meiyun at first she shared about the hope that all of us they could become little fireflight that could shine dim light, but even the light is dim, and if all of us can shine the dim light, we can brighten the darkness. At the end, teacher Jingyuan also gave us encouragement. And when she heard that we are going to do the fundraising online, and she also gave us encouragement. She is from the Compilation Department of the Tzu Chi Foundation. 1992. Where are you? I'm in the book, and the page 1350. Dr. Master Zheng Meiyun says that the heart of a teacher is like the heart of Bodhisattva. From this book, as a tracing of the Jingsi lineage. At the same time, follow the timeline. You can follow the timeline to learn and understand Tzu Chi. And you can also learn Tzu Chi through the chapters and through various topics. For the 6 volumes of the Jingsi lineage. And you will, when you open up, you don't want to stop reading because the writing is very very touching and very well arranged. And you will be, if you open this book, you would continue reading, enjoy the reading on this book to understand Tzu Chi. And through the internet, we will connect with teacher Jingyuan and the cyberspace. I think it's in Kaohsiung, we have many volunteers with various abilities. Through this online study group, we could transmit Dr. Master Zheng Meiyun's teachings all over the world. And we can make a vow with Master Zheng Meiyun that we want to share and transmit her teachings all over the world. And well, teacher Jingyuan, how come there's so many good stuff that they are so precious. They are so precious into the history. And if we pack all the precious footsteps of Tzu Chi volunteer all over the world in boxes, so no one will be able to see and understand the true Tzu Chi history. So, but we want to find all those precious Tzu Chi history footstep, and we want to compile them and allow the general public to understand and see the clear picture of Tzu Chi. I enjoy being with you because you have positive energy. Hello, good morning, teacher Jingyuan. Good morning, the audience from all over the world, and Tzu Chi family, good morning. I'm very happy and it's my pleasure to have this opportunity to share with you. For the past year, I didn't gave out speech because the last year, beginning of the last year, I have the cervical surgery on my cervical spine. I had a surgery, so I went through a recovering stage for the past year. And that in Kaohsiung Jinshi is a bright, very warm place. It's like the peach blossom spring make us feel warm and welcome. Do you know where is our good affinity? We always meet with people who walk by us, but we might not know that they are the benefactor of our life. And when we find the path, we are not afraid that we know the direction and find the path. We are not afraid of how far away our destination is. When we met with each other, and that means that we form some kind of affinity. We need to appreciate this affinity that we are able to meet with each other and treat each other with kindness and goodness. So if we could interact with each other with kindness and goodness, that means that we have that implies that we have a good affinity with the other people around us. Once I met a man. He his facial expression looks like he doesn't have a good temper. And when I met with the other lady, I thought that the facial expression, this lady look more gentle. So I bought the nectarine. I bought nectarine from the lady. I didn't want to buy the nectarine from the man whose facial expression looked like he had bad temper. But later I found out they are this lady and the man. They were a couple. So I had a realization that I judge people by their appearance. And very often that we interact with others, we didn't have enough wisdom to see through the appearance of people. And what is affinity? Affinity is all the encounters in life are the affinity. They are formed by interaction long time ago, maybe our past life, and we meet again in this life. That is affinity. And we meet each other. The meeting again in this life we have when we have good interaction with each other in our past life, when we meet each other this life, we will be we meet each other again in this lifetime, we will be feel joy and pleased to interact with this person again. If we do not feel happy to see each other, then we would say that, oh, we are afraid that to interact with this person, that imply that you long time ago didn't form good affinity with this person. For after 33 years, I met with an old friend that we haven't met with each other for 33 years. And for some reason, we didn't have our interaction were not very smooth before. And now, for after 33 years, we met each other again, and I didn't know why I didn't have good interaction with this person before. Master Zheng taught us that if we want to become like a saint, who like Mengzi, who is able to help and transmit the knowledge to a lot of people and touch many people's hearts, you need to form good affinity, and you need to make a good choice, proper choice at the proper time. You need to make the right choice, and you give to people. Not I didn't mean that you have to go out there to make purchase. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to just purchase something. Most people, when they haven't seen each other, and when they meet, finally, when they meet up their friend that they haven't meet for a long time, they meet up. Finally, they would probably say something like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Oh, it's rare to meet you. It's like seeing you like seeing a ghost." It's not a proper way to express and to describe the affinity with your old friend. Always appreciate affinity with others. Always appreciate the opportunity that we are able to meet with each other, even when we drive our car on the road. Even when you see a car who's not gentle in driving, who's probably cutting off your line, you can open your heart to just give the way to the car that's not form bad affinity, even with the driver on the road that we didn't know. Try not to form negative affinity with others. And in this, I was very touched, and it gave me an impression that the master, kung fu master, who need to a kung fu master who need to know his own potential and ability, so that he could practice kung fu in a proper way, so that he could become a great kung fu master. And a great Kung Fu master is able to pass it down the knowledge and his the tips of how to practice Kung Fu in a proper way, because he have a realization through his own practice and exercise. So some people they do not want to share their what they learn through the way of learning, but the knowledge will not pass down to the next generation. It's really not a great way to when we gain the knowledge, we want to be able to practice, and also we hope that this good knowledge could pass down to the next generation. And learning is a joyful act that we are able to learn something. We find out that we could gain new ability and gain new knowledge. It's such a joyful thing. We could learn. And no matter how old we are, throughout our life, we could continue learning. If all the learnings through the practical trainings and put into the actions, not only memorize the teachings and you memorize the text and the books, we need to put into actions of what we have learned from the book. Like the recycling volunteer of Tzu Chi Foundation, they are just like the expert of recycle, because they step by step every day they put into actions, and they investing their time and actions and their spirit in the recycling works. So they become very they become expert in the recycling field. All the Tzu Chi volunteer, Master Zheng Meiyun encourage all the Tzu Chi volunteer. They act like the firefly, although they can only illuminate dim light, but they could brighten the darkness. Although we don't have very powerful strengths, but we could help each other, and we could join our effort together, and we can accomplish great mission. That's like the fireflies. They could join their efforts. Although one little firefly, it could only illuminate very dim light, but all the a lot of fireflies join their effort. They could brighten a dark corner. And so all of us, we could work together, learn the spirit of fireflies, and all the volunteers can join our effort and hold our hands, and we could help this world become a very more beautiful place.
And when we see the fireworks in a very clear sky, okay, and we feel kind of a sense of hope, and this is the function of a firefly. And on the Bodhisattva path, and we have to give out whatever we can and be the benefactors of others, right? Just when others hurt, and we can feel their suffering, and when others are working in the rain, then we can do something. Even this is kind of tiny, then we can give out an umbrella. And this is kind of a good deed that we do. And even when like, under kind of disasters like a floods, then we can give out, the help and to protect the others from being victimized there. And this is, something that we can always do, okay, no matter how tiny it is, or no matter how trivial or like how serious it is, right? And we are always rich in mind, so we can act it out. And this is the path, okay, that we can just cultivate ourselves. And actually, let's go back to around 55 years ago, and we didn't have enough volunteer. And Master Zheng Meiyun began guiding volunteers and doing good deeds. And in this picture, then you will see that all the volunteers are on the bus trying to cross the water, but they failed. Therefore, volunteers just got off the bus and try to push it, and because they are on the way to helping others, right? And let's go back to now, like 2016, which is like more than 50 years later, and in Jordan in December in a cold winter. Okay, and why does such a thing always happen in winter? Because it's kind of freezing cold outside, and we know that the more people will just need our assistance there. Okay, and you see on the right hand of the picture, then you will see the bus is still stuck on the muddy road. Therefore, and we can learn from the two pictures that, okay, we are willing to help out, but this may not be a comfortable path. This may not be as smooth as we can imagine. Well, so we know that this is kind of a muddy road, and if we are willing to be others' benefactor, and if we are willing to help out, and we can just act out no matter how rocky or how muddy the road is, right? Okay, and as Mr. Zheng Yan says that she teaches that, okay, there are more and more people who are suffering in the world, and the number of the suffering people just get increased every second by second. So it is time for us to really, really, okay, do something and act it out. Okay. Well, and this is the Bodhisattva path that I think this is broad enough for us to walk on. Okay, so you will see that we have so many volunteers who are willing to act out their passion, right? Okay, and let's talk about the parable of the poor son. Okay, in Lotus Sutra, and there was a son, and the son had a rich father, but the son just left the father, okay, out wandering outside, and even know that, okay, the son, the father, the rich father was trying his best and trying to find his like a son back, right? And he planned to okay, give all the fortune, give all the wealth to the son. And so this is just like us, right? We are rich in mind, and we are trying our best and just give out our fortune inside to people who are willing to take it, right? Okay, and bodhisattvas can be a statue, okay, in a temple waiting to be worshipped. But living bodhisattvas are always around us, right? And it's just like you, and it's just like me, right? Okay, so we can just grow the good seeds inside everyone's heart. So this is the way that we find our way home. And this is why in the Lotus Sutra, in the parable of a poor son, the father is trying his best and find his son home, right? Okay. And maybe some people say, come on, you are really old, you are old fashioned, you are always telling some like old stories like that. Well, I have to say the value is always there. For example, the video piety is always the value for us, right? And no matter how old the concept is, right? And this is again the way home, right? Okay. And after we were born until we pass away, let me tell you, this is the path that we must be walking on, all right? And this is the path that since like 1966, Mr. Zheng Meiyun just paved such a road, establishing Tzu Chi Foundation, beginning with saving 50 cents, right? And I feel this is interesting. 50 cents means, right, everybody could just do this, right? Well, think about this. If everybody says that you have to like I said, like $50 or $500, right? And you would think that this was really the difficult job for us, right? But 50 cents means everybody just could do this, right? Okay. And let's go back to the story. Okay, we go home, we go back home. And what is a home? You must open a door and you can get into your home, right? And 50 cents is the door waiting for us to open. Therefore, we can step home, right? Okay. And in Tzu Chi, like we have a lot of like missions, okay, which can just function themselves, okay, into the good way, okay. But let's go back, okay. Our sources, our origin sources is the fundamental home, which is a spiritual home, okay. And when a tree can grow up and it can have a lot of branches, and the branches must deliver the great love, and this is the spirit of Jingsi, all right, okay. And we just deliver the good thoughts, and let's not criticize and say something negative toward them, right? Okay. Why don't we just speak good words? And why don't we just deliver like positive messages? And we still can have like a positive repose around our society. And this is good. Okay, and you can see the idols on TV, right? They are the role models to like for some group of young people, and those people would just imitate their behavior, right? Well, and if this is into the negative side, and we will turn our society into the like a negative way, right? Okay, so let's go back to Jingsi, the spiritual home, right? Okay, and the Jingsi is well, the powerful bake, okay, a powerful baking toward like a Tzu Chi's older missions, okay, and the Jingsi spirit is the Dharma lineage of our like a thinking, and this is the spirit of Tzu Chi, and this is also our Dharma lineage. And well, you can say like, where is spirit from? Okay, it is from, okay, Master Zheng Meiyun, right? Okay, it is also from the Buddhism, right? And actually, this is from the traditional sense of value of our society, right? Okay, and we have a home, and home is the Jingsi abode in Hualian. And it is the spiritual home for every Tzu Chi volunteer. And because of the pandemic, okay, so volunteer around the world cannot go back to the spiritual home, but you always possess the spirit, so you are still at home, okay? So you may say that, come on, I don't have a home, okay? Home doesn't mean a house, right? Home is a treasure that you can hold on to your spirit there, okay? Well, okay, a family is a place. A family is a concept that brings you all the warmth and all the maybe fortune, okay? Well, and when we open up our eyes, and probably you will realize, okay, it's been flooding somewhere, okay, and it's been kind of like a tsunami, like a hitting there, okay. So we really feel we just can't bear to see that, okay. And this is a disaster around there, like a physical, material house, right? Okay. Well, and why do we have such a like a disaster there? And another case is that, okay, do you know like why people usually pass away during the night when sun cannot reach? Okay, so maybe some people would think then let's turn night into days, then people won't die. Okay, Right. Okay. And so we have astronauts that are trying. Okay. They try to just reach the sun. Okay. And you will see. Okay. And we are getting thirsty. Right. Okay. Okay. So they are the concept that we may not, have to follow. Okay. Well, and some like a simple ideas, a simple concept that okay. But for example, you may just try to quench some people and who are thirsty on their way, and this is just like a Dharma water that we are offering, right? Okay. Okay. And okay, we have a Kwafu, okay, and he was, trying to pursue the sun, okay, and finally he was thirsty to death, right, okay, and you will see that, okay, you don't have to do that, okay, and we can just turn the thinking into something that is more like applicable in our like daily lives, right, okay. Well, mythology, it's beautiful. Mythology may be kind of a well, beautiful for us, right? But finally, if we can act that out, and right, then we can turn this like a more beautiful. Just like when you go to the like a forest and you are thirsty and you find some kind of juicy fruit to eat, right? And I think this is going to a kind of a good ending because we were quenched there. Okay, right. And we have so many ancestors like passing through all the ways that we are on. Okay, we know our ancestors are from like a Fujian province and walking all the way, okay, to Taiwan. Okay, so we are the offspring, and we have to shoulder the responsibility passing down the heritage and quench people who are thirsty and save people from disasters, right? And we have like Taoyuan means like a Shangri, okay? Well, and somebody just got lost, and he was lost in a forest, and he just witnessed it. Okay, how beautiful it was. And finally, he acquainted and he reached the water sources. And then he witnessed a mountain, and inside the mountain, and he see, okay, the sunlight, okay, because he was in the dark and he sees the light, and you will know that he is happy, right? Okay. Well, so you have to let something go, and you can find the light inside your heart, and you can just walk in, and that is the right way that is guiding us. Well, so if we are, we have the wisdom to give, and we are wise enough to give out something, okay, right, okay, and give out is something good, and we have to also get rid of something bad that is our like a habitual tendencies, right, okay, and
it's the most difficult thing is to give up our habitual tendencies. To seek for good fortune is not as good as grow better habitual tendency. If you don't form good affinity with others, it's hard to be able to have great interaction with others. To seek for great fortune, it's better to plant a good seed in your life. Master Zheng always told us that there is do not believe in fortune. Actually, we are able to steer our own the direction of our life. We have the ability to steer the direction of our life. How do we steer the direction in our life journey? We need Dharma teachings. in our wisdom life, to nurture our wisdom life. So when we interact with others, we will be able to interact with good habitual tendency and form good affinity. The Dharma teachings in our life is just like the bone marrow nurturing our life, but the Dharma teachings is nurturing our wisdom life. When Master Jingyuan asked us to grasp seize all the opportunity and every moment of our life to do good deeds. When you want to take action, you need to think through the cause and consequences of your actions. To do good deeds to benefit all sentient beings, not only to benefit ourselves, but will also benefit the sentient beings who have affinity with us. When we always Chinese people always pray to their ancestors with 3 incense, and when we pray to our ancestor, we always hope that they could safeguard us and so that we could be safe and we could be healthy. And actually, what we need to do is to learn the wisdom from our ancestors and pass down their knowledge to our offspring, to our next generation. So all of us, we will gain the knowledge and we will be able to have more wisdom when we interact with others. And Master Jingyuan taught us that we need to not only chanting, reciting the Dharma Sutra, but we need to take action of what we have learned from from Buddhism Sutra. I met Master Jingyuan when I was very young. But I always very often I argue, and Dharma. I argue with others. I have different opinions with my colleagues. But when I always have the argument with my colleagues, because I have a good intention, but when I have argument, I always remind myself about the role model of Dharma Master Jingyuan and the teachings from Dharma Master Jingyuan. Before you have bad temper, you have to think about Master Jingyuan. Master Jingyuan encourage us that we, although all of us, we come into Tzu Chi family, and all of us have different various habitual tendencies. But we need to open our heart to accommodate each other so that we could all hold our hand together to work for the sentient beings. And this teacher Jingyuan, you look so graceful on the screen, and your talk is very inspiring, and the tone is very gentle. I learned so much from you, even when I was new to Tzu Chi. You deep down in my heart, you are a person who I look up to in Tzu Chi. I learned for the past many years in Tzu Chi, I always learn so much from you. teacher Jingyuan, she is in Tzu Chi for more than 3 decades. He is still very dedicated to follow Master Zheng Meiyun's footsteps and learning the teachings from Dharma Master Zheng Meiyun. Sharing from online, I learned so much from teacher Jingyuan's sharing from Thailand. Every time I heard that the sharing from Jingyuan. It's just like learning a new things from Tzu Chi history, and inspire me to appreciate what I learned in Tzu Chi and put into practice to form affinity with others. I'm very grateful that teacher Jingyuan share how to form a good affinity with others. And from Canada, teacher Jingyuan is a great role model to me. She is a very knowledgeable and very dedicated Tzu Chi volunteer. And Chen Guoyuan say that Chen Guoyuan she had a sharing about Dr. Chen's sharing, and now a group of young volunteer who make the airplane that designated as the airplane that Tzu Chi purchased BNT vaccine. It touched many people's heart because it is a big and meaningful task for Tzu Chi Foundation to help Taiwan to combat this virus spread out in Taiwan, and all of us are join our heart to do the fundraising together. And next time we are going to interview and listen to the sharing from a doctor in Kaohsiung. His name is Hongdian. And let's give a big hand to welcome Dr. Hong.
Welcome Dr. Hong from TIMA. Dear Master Zheng Meiyun and all the Tzu Chi families, I'm Dr. Hong from TIMA. Today I'm to share about the relation among exercise, diet, and the immunity. It's a pandemic raging around the world. It poses a serious threat to human health. So we must remain the system in an appropriate level to keep us healthy. The immunity is man's ability against the diseases. And must keep it in a proper level to keep us healthy. If the system's defenses are too weak, will be affected by diseases such as the invasion of virus, causing cancer, and flu, and so on. However, if the body's immune system, the body's immune system attacks its own healthy cells if the immunity is too strong. For example, rheumatoid arthritis and the system differs with the medical search. Therefore, one has to adjust properly the autoimmune. WHO announced in 2019 that replacing the risk that more and more infectious diseases may spread include the flu, MERS, Ebola virus, Zika virus, plague, and COVID-19. We must strengthen our immunity to protect our body from disease infections. And the way of increasing immunity includes taking functional foods through balanced diet, doing exercises, and recreation. As for the functional food that are classified into polyphenolic food, phytochemical food, unsaturated fatty acid food, and micronutrients. As different food provide different uses or functions to our body. Polyphenolic food includes blueberry, cranberry, grape, dark chocolate, onion, curry powder, green tea, and coffee. All have antioxidant properties and can protect us from inflammation. For phytochemical food refers to the plants convert to a variety of colors through photosynthesis and with different uses. Therefore, we must have food in color of yellow, red, green, black, and white to enhance the immune system, prevent cancer, anti-inflammation, and so on. Unsaturated fatty acid food like olive oil, sunflower oil brings down cholesterol levels and leads heart health. Micronutrients include vitamins and minerals, which can increase the immunity and are available in grains, nuts, fruits, and mushrooms. Therefore, we have to take balance and various food diets instead of pick only one or few kinds of food you prefer. So this is the way to keep us a balanced diet. And in recent years, having colorful whole plant-based food encouraged by Western countries, so-called rainbow diet, recommend eating colorful vegetables and fruits that are red, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, white, and black, as they provide antioxidant properties to support healthy respiratory mucosa and immunity. Therefore, it's very popular. It's very popular in Western countries. And in Tzu Chi, from Malaysia to Kaohsiung, we are promoting whole plant-based food. And the daily dietary guidelines from Health Promotion Administration recommend consuming specific servings of 6 groups of food. Include veggies, fruits, whole grains, beans, eggs, dairy, nuts, and seeds. And with less salt, sugar, and fat. And more exercises and having more water to keep us healthy. And with the appeal from Master Zheng Meiyun, Tzu Chi volunteers replace fish meat with beans, which are rich in protein. So to promote vegetarian and practice recycling. In order to help the public to remember taking proper diets, Health Promotion Administration created MindTech and the catchphrase. And so here's the catchphrase: a glass of milk every morning and night is the size amount of food at every meal. Slightly larger amount of vegetables than fruit, same amount of rice as vegetables. One-sized amount of beans or eggs, 1 teaspoon of nuts and seeds. So this makes it easier for the public to understand and practice in daily life. Talking about changing lifestyle, the sedentary behavior and less physical activities tend to have inflammation, worsen immunity, and the lifestyle of more physical activities and the fitness for the elder can prevent the inflammation and virus infection. And for the exercise, we perform aerobic exercises minimum of 30 minutes 5 days a week, and reach medium muscular strength like running, cycling, swimming, and grip strength, muscle strength of lower limb, and toe grip strength. And in addition, taking part in recreational activities is good for health. And recreational activities include fitness, leisure activities for one's own interests, such as play ball, workout, outdoor activities, and dancing to improve immunity. The recreation activities such as singing and dancing can lower mental stress and increase the immune system. So this can help improve in lifestyle and a good, wonderful method for health promotion and disease prevention.
And this is a great idea that we are delivering you, okay? So let's safeguard our health. And every January, okay, we share the good news with you, all right, okay? And here's a message saying that thank you to teacher Jingyuan delivering the Dharma lineage in a good way. And this is a spread of love. And we have a Qi Xian says that thank you to Jingyuan and thank you to Dr. Chen, okay? And okay, and in here is a message saying that we are so grateful that we didn't miss this, sharing of Jingyuan. Okay, this is good. Okay, and now let's come back here, and I like to say that we have a great TV shows like on Da ITV. Okay, and every day is a good day. And maybe you already missed the good show that on the 2nd of January but you can still watch the recap like every afternoon. And aside from like the drama, and we still have other good shows for you, right? Okay. And Yao Renlu says thank you to you, everybody. And please also like read like Jing Si books. And this is a very wonderful book, okay? And we also have like a products like of a Jingsi product here. And as I mentioned earlier, like in Kaohsiung, that you can have like a special offerings, right? Okay. And the gifts are all like a Jingsi, like a gummy candies, and we can also purchase some other like good products here. Okay, and here let me say this is like a herbal liquid, and this is the powder. Okay, and we also have like a turmeric enzyme. Okay, you can buy like a 2 bottles, right? Okay, all together. And next week we're gonna have like Lin Ziwei and from Singapore, and we also have like a Sijing Wenjing online with us next week, and we have Mr. De Chen from Hualian, and we also have like a Superintendent Lin Xinrong, okay, and he will be sending out his books for us, right? And on the 19th, and we have Liu Yijun, okay, and we have Liu Jiyu on the 26th, right? And that's all. Okay, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, I like to be with you because you've got a positive energy, and we are going to do everything on a perfect way. And thank you very much for your participation today. Okay, and if you cannot get online right now, and we are more than welcome to watch our recap. Okay, and please like us and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and let's wave goodbye to Mr. Zheng Yan and all the volunteers. Okay, all the audience online. Let's meet next Wednesday.
感恩哦。好，口译团队，我来麻烦那个仁义会的，你跟我上去。嘿，其他谢谢，我们赶快去跟他，不是。